You've lived a life dominated by doubt and fear. How do you step into bravery?
Today's the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there, and you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about.
It is time to take control of your now, to be able to get back in the driver's seat, to understand that you must be tougher than your life.
Step aggressively towards your fear. And that step towards your fear is the step into bravery. Because we're scared of what we don't know. And there is only one way to learn and to know, and that is to confront that fear. You have to step, you have to go. And this simple action, this simple attitude, it answers so many questions.
Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams.
How do you get to the gym every day? You step, you go. How do you change your diet? You step, you go. How do you overcome fear of failure or fear of success or fear of fear itself? You step. And how do you face the fear of the unknown? You step. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No, and no. Instead, be aggressive. Take action now. And what is the first action that you need to take?
And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day and understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. Heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works.
What's the first step you need to take? The first step you need to take is just that step. It is not easy to identify the enemy in combat, in war. So what you have to do is you have to control what you can control. Right? You got to be prepared. You've got to train. You've got to study. You've got to rehearse. You've got to remain vigilant. You've got to maintain discipline in everything you do so that when the enemy does reveal itself, you have the ability to outthink it, to outmaneuver, to outfight the enemy. And it's actually the same thing in business. Right? The enemy can be hard to identify.
But what is life? What does life mean to you? Do you feel that life is holding you back? Are you blaming your life for the difficulties that you face day in and day out? Why does life have to be so difficult? Why must we struggle so much? What good is life if every day there's so much pain?
So I hear you, right? But to me, those are just words, right? Basically saying to him, I'm coming from a real situation, right? So I hear you talking, but I'm coming from a real situation. And he was like, you think I'm playing? I'll be here in the morning to pick you up. And the next morning he picked me up and he said, here's the deal, man. He said, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna play you in a game of one-on-one basketball every morning. And I'm gonna make you recite a proverb until you graduate high school. And I was like, he's just talking. And every single morning he did it. Pick me up, take me to school. He would play me in a game of one-on-one basketball, make me recite a proverb. They don't want you to bring church religion into the school system, which I get and I understand. And the principal came into the gymnasium and said to him, I heard you've been given inky proverbs, which proverbs out of the Bible. And he said, yes, sir, I have. He said, stop it or I have to fire you. And at the time, my teacher was 23 years old, right? We were his first class of students, fresh out of college. And he looked at the principal and he said, well, you're just gonna have to fire me because his life is worth it, right? And I'll never forget in that moment saying, if he's willing to put the way that he provides for his family on the line for me, I gotta give him everything I got.
Life is not responsible for how you take care of your own mindset. You must be in control of everything that you do going forward in your life. You must have the possession of understanding that life is good. Doesn't matter what day it is. If you're alive, life is good. If you're struggling, life is good. If you're having a bad day, it's a day to make a difference. It's a day to define who you truly are inside. What is your true purpose? How much of yourself do you have left?
I think we help people in different ways, right? It's almost like leadership, right? You find some leaders that are vocal, right, that can talk. You find other leaders that lead by example. They're not big talkers, right? They're just the guys you watch. They're gonna do their thing, and you can point to them and say, hey man, you see the way that guy works and does his thing? Follow him. And I think the same for opposition and adversity. You find some people, they can work their way through it, and then they can speak about it and tell people. You got others that deal with it, and they can work their way through it, and you almost have to pry it out of them. And so it's like, for me, with speaking, I never wanted to speak. Never had any interest in it, right? Never said, man, I want to go across the country, share my story. I wasn't interested. I wanted to coach. When that fell through, I wanted to work at a rec center in my neighborhood, create leadership curriculums for the kids, and just give back to them.